Hello. I'm going to talk to you today about annotation, which we can think of as the act of taking notes. Of course, you probably already do this in class with lectures. You write things down that your instructor says so that you can remember them more easily. Notice that you don't write down every single word your instructor says. This is something to remember as I continue this lecture to show you how annotation can help you read texts with greater ease and effectiveness by writing down part of what they say and adding your own thoughts. First, let's take a look at what seems the easiest form of annotation, which uses pen and paper. Here is a picture of part of a page from a book that I own. As you can see, I've taken advantage of the fact that books are made of paper to go ahead and write on the paper. I've marked passages that I want to particularly consider, and I've written down a couple of thoughts and a question that occurred to me while I was reading for further thought. Now that I've done this, I can keep considering these ideas the next time I read the book, and also I can more easily use the passages I've marked and the ideas and questions that I've written down for consideration in an essay that I might be working on. You also might notice that this is what I do with your written assignments. I actually write on them in approximately this color. Because I do this, you can more easily see the parts of your writing that I want you to pay particular attention to, and you can get an idea of what I think about those by the comments I make. So, what I do with your homework, you also can do with texts that you read. Of course, these days we do most of our reading electronically. Since we can't as easily write on web pages, it messes up our computer screens, we need to find a method of annotation to use virtually. So, to see an example of this, let's look at part of an article that I've recently read online and see how I might annotate that article for use in my own writing. So, as you see, this is an article titled How the English Language is Taking Over the Planet. And I've read this article before, so I'm not going to make you watch me read it as this lecture continues, but I want to show how you can find a passage in an article and make it so that you can use it more easily in your own writing. So, I noticed as I was reading this particular sentence: no language in history has been used by so many people or spanned a greater portion of the globe. I think that I want to quote this sentence in an essay. So I'm going to use this electronic kind of annotation to copy this into a Word document that I will make to help me follow my sources. So, to copy, I right-click my mouse, I select Copy, and then I go to a Word document which I have prepared with the bibliographical information of the article I'm reading. In other words, when I make my works cited entry, I already have my source in MLA form. So, my next step is to paste by pressing my right mouse button and clicking paste the sentence that I just read. That way, I have an accurate copy of it, so that when I'm writing my essay, I don't have to try to type it in accurately later and open myself up to mistakes. The next thing I do is I want to, as I did on the page of my paper book, make comment so that I know why I copied this sentence, and so I know what it might mean to my reader. So I might write something like, this passage indicates the power and status of the English language, possibly even in a, make that as a marker of class and status. Now, I want to indicate to myself that these are my words, so I'm going to select this whole passage and put it, say, in bold. That way I know that these are my words and my thoughts, and these are Michanowski's words and Michanowski's thoughts. And this way I have annotated this passage so that it can be useful to me later in an essay. With this extra work, I can start to assemble a list of quotations and ideas, of annotations, that I can use in an essay. Also, making this list can help me understand my source more usefully because I've looked more carefully at it and made notes of the way that I've thought about it. I hope that this look at some methods of annotation will help you as you continue to use academic sources in essays, as you continue to do academic reading. Think of it as a way of making yourself part of a larger literary conversation, the conversation between you and the writers whose work you use to develop your own thoughts. And, as always, thank you for your time and attention.